Hello and welcome to my review of episodes 2 and episodes 3 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, I wasn't able to watch the second episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it came out on Channel 4, but watched it on the on-demand service that Channel 4 do, and I watched episode 3 yesterday. So this is going to be a double feature where I review them both. I say what positives and negatives I have for both of them. And I'll kind of give an updated view of my stance in the series as a whole so far. So, straight into it. Episode 2 follows Agent Coulson and his team going to Peru to investigate an 084. I think that's what it is. It might be an 048, but I think it's an 084. And basically what they do with an 084 is go in, find out if it's a problem or not, whether it's going to be hostile towards them, whether it's going to be safe, and their job to deal with it. And while they find this object in a temple while they're in Peru, Peruvian police make their way to the temple, and we learn that the leader of this police has kind of worked with Agent Coulson before, and it is hinted that they may have had a possible sort of, thing. And on the plane back, where after being attacked by a local militia, the Peruvian police turn out to be not quite as happy and friendly as we originally suspect at the start of the episode. And episode 3 follows Agent Coulson and his team rescuing a kidnapped scientist who they think has been kidnapped against his will, but it turns out that the kidnapper has convinced the professor to work with him, but it appears that the professor himself has different motives as to what his captor wants and to what S.H.I.E.L.D. wants. Now, both episodes are an improvement on the first. If you've seen my review for the first episode, you know that I was not a huge fan of some of the things that they did. And in these episodes, particularly episode 3, they improve on them. Now, let's start with episode 2. I thought episode 2 was better, like I said. It was a lot more action-packed. I enjoyed it a lot more. Definitely, which is kind of surprising really, but at this point, there's definitely characters that you begin to like, that you begin to sort of connect with in a way. Those mostly are Agent May, and I cannot remember what his name is, but it's I can't remember what his name is, but he's sort of the headstrong fellow agent. I'll have an annotation or a thing telling you what his name is. But Agent May and that person, or is it May? Whatever. I'll have her name up here as well. So they're definitely two characters that you like. They're likeable characters. As far as Agents Fitz and Agent Simmons and Sky go, whatever. Even by the time episode 3 comes around, I don't really like them all that much. But, they're gradually getting better to character-wise. Unfortunately, episode 2 does have the same thing going on with it as episode 1 did, in that using plot devices from the previous Marvel films to sort of get the story to work. I'm not a fan of that really. I didn't like it in the first episode or the second, but the third does not have that problem. Also, all the references to previous films in episodes 2 and 3, not as many, a lot more subtle. But, they were still there. Some of them I didn't like, but generally all good. So, for episode 2, I am going to give a 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said, improvement over the first episode. Now, episode 3. I actually quite like episode 3. Episode 3 does not use plot devices from the films. It uses a plot device that I haven't seen, or uses a element in the story that we haven't seen in the films, or at least I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't. And yeah, it was just pretty well done. I actually quite liked it. Like I said, with the second, definitely at this point characters are beginning to stand out among the rest of them. Unfortunately, I am pretty convinced that Agent Coulson is pretty bad at his job, and they should probably sack him and get somebody else to do it, because he really is just making decisions that just make you think, why, Coulson, why? You're supposed to be cleverer than this. Because the whole idea behind it, and there's a part in the start of episode 2 that deals with this, where the two head agents, Agent Mai and the other guy, they directly come up to him, Agent Coulson, and say, look mate, bringing somebody like her, who in the first episodes we were trying to arrest, bringing someone like her into something as big as this really isn't a good idea. We don't know if she's going to be completely loyal or completely faithful. And Coulson's just like, whatever, like, why not? There's the worst that can happen. So yeah, they should probably sack Coulson and get somebody else. No offense, Clark Gregg, but your character's a bit of an idiot. But generally, episode 3 had a much better story compared to the other two. The definitely standout characters, and even though it was not as action-packed as the second one, I generally thought it was an enjoyable one. It wasn't anything amazing. Like, some of the CG in both of them are still pretty iffy, and as far as TV goes, I'm not sure how important music is meant to be, because I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, but none of the music is really sort of standing out at any time. So, for episode 3, I am going to give I'm going to give Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 3 3.5 stars out of 5. So, as far as the series goes now, I'm looking forward to episode 4. I really am. If they continue to work on the characters, particularly Fitzsimmons, because I think the characters of Agent Fitz and Simmons could be really cool. I think they could be really enjoyable characters. They kind of put in as comic relief, but they're both meant to be really clever scientists, so to kind of have your super clever scientists be a comic relief isn't really that great. Kind of degrading for the character, I would imagine. But if they work on them, or work on the stories, and maybe have sort of Agent Coulson smart enough to actually lead the team, and get rid of S.H.I.E.L.D, because I'm really not a whole huge fan of character of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm really not. I mean, there's something about the character that just seems out of place. Like, you can, like, with all the other characters, they each have sort of like a quality about them that makes you think, wow, as a group, you would be a really important person. But S.H.I.E.L.D, you're just like, there's probably hundreds of people working for S.H.I.E.L.D. that could do what she's meant to do. Her character has its advantages, as we see it in episode 3, but still, you're just like, can't we get somebody else? So, I'm not a huge fan of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a character. But, in general, I am looking forward to seeing episode 3, and hopefully it'll be good. So, I apologise for not getting a review for episode 2 out as quickly as I should have. I'm recording for both now after episode 3 premiered yesterday. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope you've found it informative. In case you're wondering, I do have an idea for a Halloweenish kind of thing to be doing. And I get some sort of glow-in-the-dark decorations or something, and wear like a Skeletor mask or something for one of them. And I will try and review horror films for them in preparation for Halloween. But anyway, again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and goodbye.